You won't believe what President Emmerson Mnangagwa said during Zimbabwe's 46th Independence Day celebrations in Mafisa. President Emmerson Mnangagwa delivered a speech that immediately caught the attention of many Zimbabweans. Standing before thousands of people gathered in Mafisa, Matabeleland South Province, he sent one clear message. Zimbabwe belongs to all its people, and the country's future depends on unity, peace, and continued development. His words came at a time when Zimbabwe is facing important discussions about its economy, politics, and the direction of the nation. Because of that, many people were waiting to hear exactly what the president would say during one of the country's biggest national celebrations. Instead of focusing on political disagreements, President Mnangagwa spoke about the importance of working together as one nation. He reminded Zimbabweans that independence was achieved through great sacrifice and said every citizen has a responsibility to protect that freedom for future generations. He described Matabeleland South as a province with a special place in Zimbabwe's liberation history. He paid tribute to the heroes and heroines who fought for independence and said their courage should continue to inspire today's generation. Then he delivered a message that stood out more than anything else. He said Zimbabwe is the only country its people can truly call home. According to him, no one from outside will come and build the nation for Zimbabweans. He urged citizens to work together, develop their communities, and contribute to the country's progress regardless of where they live. That statement quickly became one of the biggest talking points from the independence celebrations because many viewed it as a call for national unity during a period when the country continues to face different social, economic, and political challenges. The president also spoke about Zimbabwe's development agenda. He highlighted improvements in agriculture, mining, infrastructure, education, and industrial growth. He pointed to a successful farming season and said the country should continue building on those achievements to strengthen food security and create more opportunities for citizens. Another important point in his speech was the decision to hold this year's independence celebrations in Mapisa. The government has been rotating major national events across different provinces instead of hosting them only in Harare. According to the president, this approach ensures that every province shares in national development and receives greater attention through infrastructure projects linked to these celebrations. Supporters welcomed the speech, saying it reinforced the importance of peace and national unity. Others believe that while the message was encouraging, many Zimbabweans are still waiting to see more improvements in their everyday lives. As always, opinions remain divided, making this one of the most closely watched Independence Day speeches in recent years. But there is much more to this story. Why was Mafisa chosen to host such a historic event? What major development projects were completed ahead of the celebrations? And why do many observers believe the location itself carried an important political and national message? If you're enjoying this report, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest updates on Zimbabwe. Now let me explain why Mafisa became the center of Zimbabwe's 46th independence celebrations. Because this was not a random decision. For decades, Zimbabwe's Independence Day celebrations were mainly held in Harare. The National Sports Stadium became the traditional venue where thousands gathered every year to celebrate the country's freedom. Many Zimbabweans had become used to seeing the event take place in the capital. But in recent years, the government introduced a new approach. Instead of keeping the celebrations in one city, the government began rotating the national event from one province to another. The goal, according to officials, is to ensure that every province benefits from development linked to hosting such an important occasion. That is exactly what happened in Mafisa. Months before Independence Day, construction crews moved into the area. Roads were upgraded, public facilities received attention, and work was carried out to prepare the town for thousands of visitors, government officials, diplomats, traditional leaders, business representatives, and ordinary Zimbabweans traveling from across the country. For many residents of Mafisa, this was more than just preparing for one day of celebrations. They saw new infrastructure taking shape around them. Businesses expected more customers. Local traders prepared for increased activity. Hotels and guest houses welcomed visitors, while transport operators benefited from the movement of people into the province. This is one reason the government says rotating national events helps spread development beyond the capital. During his address, President Mnangagwa emphasized that every province deserves to be part of Zimbabwe's national story. He said no region should feel left behind and that development must reach communities across the country. He repeated that independence should not only be remembered through speeches and celebrations. According to him, it should also be reflected in better roads, improved schools, healthcare facilities, clean water projects, and opportunities for young people. That message was aimed at showing that national celebrations should leave behind something lasting for local communities. The president also used the occasion to speak directly to Zimbabwe's youth. He encouraged young people to take advantage of opportunities in agriculture, mining, education, technology, and entrepreneurship. He said the country's future depends largely on the younger generation and urged them to work hard instead of losing hope. He also called on citizens to maintain peace and unity, saying development is easier to achieve when the country remains stable. Another important part of his speech focused on food security. Following a stronger agricultural season, the president praised farmers for their efforts and encouraged continued investment in farming. Agriculture remains one of Zimbabwe's most important sectors, employing millions of people directly and indirectly. He said increasing food production is essential for improving livelihoods and strengthening the national economy. But while these messages were welcomed by many supporters, others were listening for something different. Some Zimbabweans had expected stronger comments on the country's economic challenges, including the rising cost of living, employment concerns, and ongoing political debates. Those issues were not the main focus of the independence speech, leading to different reactions after the event. Supporters described the address as hopeful and unifying. Critics argued that while the vision presented was encouraging, many citizens are still waiting to experience the benefits of development in their daily lives. This difference in opinion is exactly why the speech has continued to attract attention well beyond Independence Day itself. And the story doesn't end there. Behind the celebrations, Zimbabwe continues to experience important political discussions that could shape the country's future. While the president focused on unity and development in Mafisa, debates over governance, constitutional matters, and the country's political direction have continued in the background. Those discussions have become one of the biggest topics in Zimbabwe today, and understanding them helps explain why this independence speech received so much attention. If you're finding this report informative, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you balanced and detailed news from Zimbabwe.